right. Hi, Anna. Hi, William. Hi, Bill. Yep, we were all together about 12 hours ago, weren't we, or so? For our Not in Our Town meeting.
You're good to go.
Thank you.
Was Adam at the meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew he had said he was going to go, but I hadn't spoken with him yet today.
Yeah, he's been very dedicated and we're very grateful. It's we love having his input and having him there and being a part of our work for sure. And what he's doing.
Definitely dedicated because he works midnights, so constantly having to flex his schedule. He doesn't take overtime. I mean, he does it on his own because he wants to do it. But he still has to work midnights, so yeah. I usually don't call him in the morning. Give him some time to sleep.
Yes. Yeah, in the work he does. Yep, I wanted to be sure to mention that too.
Well, thank you. I'll let him know.
Yeah. Yes.
I want to apologize to everybody now, just before we get started. I'm going to have to leave at 8:30. My mom has a doctor's appointment in Findlay that we got to get to, so.
No problem. And congratulations on your new position, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay, now wait, we didn't know about that, did
What'd
we?
you get?
It hasn't been publicly announced yet. But yeah. so I will, especially since we're live on YouTube, I will refrain, but as soon as I can publicly announce, I will.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Well, congratulations anyway.
Thank you.
All right. I think we have, or maybe we're not at a quorum yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait a few more minutes to see if anyone else joins us. But...
Morning, Mayor.
Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Very good.
It's Friday.
In May. That's the shocker.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it this morning.
Emily, do we need one more person for a quorum? I can't remember.
I believe we have to have 6.
Okay.
So we're not quite there yet.
Right.
Yeah. So we can play charades. I don't know. Oh, good. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm excited for you. I'm looking forward to finding out information, details, when you're able to share. Oh.
Anyone have any good plans for this weekend?
Actually, we don't have anything, which is unusual with all our kids because they play softball and volleyball and track. I'm a chauffeur. That's what I do. I have a different hat I wear. It's yellow, still a taxi cab hat on it. All I do literally in the evenings is take the kids around. But I enjoy it and they're dedicated to something they enjoy, so that's important.
And it's fun too.
Yeah, it is. My littlest one, well, my youngest daughter, I should say, she plays softball, and we call her Peanut because she's tiny. And she told her coach she wanted to catch because she was bored in the field. I mean, it's 8-year-old girls softball, so they're not really hitting it very far. Like the pitcher catches most of the stuff, you know. So she wanted to be the catcher. So I put the equipment on her to be the catcher. Oh, it was funny. It was hilarious. She's trying to walk out there and she's waddling because she can't bend her knees because where the knee bends is like clear up on her thigh.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was fun. I enjoy it, watching them play.
it's fun, just having those memories of kids on the field together, whether it's soccer or softball or whatever the sport is, and then learning strategies and how to play the game and, being involved and watching the ball and all those things that we're coaching them and teaching them to do. And then a butterfly goes by,
Oh,
right? And then that's the most important thing, butterflies, right?
yeah. And what shapes I can draw in the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
We watch what's going on. You're gonna get hit in the head with the softball.
Yeah, or I remember a soccer game was really exciting, and all the, we're all cheering and this ball's coming down there, moving. I'm not a big soccer player myself, but these 5-year-olds in their game, and the ball's coming down the field and the goalie's standing there with the opposing player and they're trying to decide who's taller, the goalie's wide open, and how do you help them to, it's just part of learning, I know.
My oldest two played soccer when they were 5 and 4, because they're like Irish twins. And my youngest, she's just running and sliding in the mud because it's raining. My oldest would not go out on the field. She wanted me to take the umbrella out because she didn't want to get wet and fall on the field. Well, my mom and dad had come to watch them. So my mom's like, do it. I want to see her play. Go out there with the umbrella. And I'm like, I'm not taking the umbrella out there to follow her around on the field. So memories like that, there were a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. 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 And then Nellie, I'm just, curious and being mindful of the time. I don't, and I know we did hear from Carol that she was not going to be here today. But I don't know, did we hear from anybody else?
I did not hear from anyone else. I know we can go through the meeting as long as we don't make any decisions or anything. So we could at least go through the agenda and just not. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we have the housing report first from Matt. You're muted, Matt.
Thank you. Didn't receive any fair housing complaints. We did have a landlord tenant complaint. That dispute was over maintenance issues. The tenant was advised of their right to put their rent in escrow, but we're encouraged to contact the health department first to have them try to mediate the issue. They're usually pretty good about following up with both parties, and best of my knowledge, all the issues were addressed after they contacted the health department. So that's all I have to report.
I'm sorry, Matt, can you repeat that for me? What was the complaint?
It was maintenance issues.
Okay.
So
I'll just put that.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you,
That's
Matt.
all I have to report.
Thank you. All right, next is the financial report, but Joe couldn't be with us today, and we haven't spent anything, so I'm sure it hasn't changed. And next we have the mayor's report.
Thanks, Ellie. Yeah, I can update you on the budget, and Ellie, you're right, nothing's changed. Your budget beginning of the year was $1,600. Year-to-date expenses were $119.80, leaving a total of $1,480.20 remaining in your budget. In terms of the mayor report, I really don't have anything to report, but I did want to make everybody aware of what I think is a pretty terrific opportunity. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Leadership BG program that is put on every year by the Chamber of Commerce. They are seeking applicants for the 2022 class. And I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware of it. All of you that serve on this committee are leaders in the Bowling Green community. And I believe that this is a terrific opportunity for you as leaders in the community to learn more about our community. So if you were to look at the application materials, you would see that the program has created a mission statement that I think is relevant. The mission statement reads, Leadership BG is designed to inform and educate both current and emerging leaders about the Bowling Green area and its key issues, and to encourage involvement in affecting positive change in the community and its environment. So it's a terrific program. There are targeted areas of educational experiences, including government, agriculture, business and economic development, health and human services, education, judicial systems, and public safety. I know that there are a great number of people and organizations in the community that are really active in participating in creating these educational opportunities. I'm really pleased that our city government is actively involved in that. I've participated in those in the past, both as a member of city council, and I don't think I've had the chance to do it yet as a mayor, because I think it was a casualty of COVID. But I look forward to the opportunity to participate, in my role as mayor. And I know that our police division is actively involved in this. I've heard great reports of that day and that educational experience when the classes had an opportunity to actively engage with the police division, get into the building, tour the building, and really learn an awful lot about what they do and how they do it. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that program and encourage you to consider participating in that if your schedules would allow. It's terrific, and I think that everybody could benefit from it. So if there's anyone that's interested, feel free to contact me directly via email, and I'd be happy to send along to you the materials, including the application. Or you could visit the BG Chamber website. There's information there, or you can contact Mary directly down at the chamber. So that's what I had.
I may follow up with that. I attended. Emily, were we in the same class?
Yeah, we were
I
in the
thought we
same.
were. Yeah, and Ag Day's got to be. I mean, I like the police department stuff, but I loved Agriculture Day. I thought that was awesome. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about the manufacturing too that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a worthwhile thing.
I can tell you, I loved every day. I look forward to it, and actually, honestly, I'm thinking maybe about participating again, because I'm guessing there's been enough changes since you and I went through. When was that, in 2015 or something, or 2014 maybe?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Was
it was 2016. The beginning of
Yeah,
2016 is when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I would encourage anybody to participate. I was
Actually, putting a program together. We used to have Citizens Police Academy here. The problem is it kind of fizzled out because it was a 10-week commitment, and a lot of people didn't want to do it. And we had done it for probably 10 to 15 years. I think our last class was like in 2007, maybe. And it was just too much of a commitment for people. And then in the end, what we were getting were students that their professors said, we'll give you credit for class if you attend this type thing. So after we did Leadership BG last time, we got to talking, and we were hoping to roll it out last year. And then, of course, COVID and everything, we couldn't do it. But we're going to have like a 2 or 3 week nights, like let's say the next 3 Thursdays or Wednesdays or however we want to do it, to where then people are going to be able to come into the division, and it's going to be kind of like a pseudo little police academy. I'm not sure of a name yet that we're going to call it, but we'll be able to go through the different functions of the police department. They'll be able to tour, be able to go on the range and fire a weapon if they choose. They'll be able to go see RC. We'll have a canine display. We'll have our crisis negotiators go through an incident. We'll let people put on the headsets and stuff. So obviously we're trying to wait until after COVID, so that way it can be more interactive. But that's what we have on the horizon. So, and Adam's been a big part of that, orchestrating that. So we're hoping to be able to have community members come in to get to know us, plus to kind of see what we do. We'll also run them through different scenarios, like with integrated force, to determine whether you can use de-escalation tactics or whether you have to use one of your tools, different things like that, to give them an idea of what we do. And for us to get an idea of what people think that we do out there. Because a lot of times people watch TV and think that that's how it is. No, that's not how it is. It's not that exciting.
That's a
Yeah,
great.
thank you. It sounds great, guys. And thank you, Mayor Ashbacher, for bringing that opportunity up.
Hey, Ellie,
Yes.
just one item of business, and that would be approving the minutes that I think we did not do that yet. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you have
We can definitely discuss the minutes, but I don't think we can approve them without the
Got
quorum.
it.
So
So you already thought that through.
no, you're good. Yeah, we can look at the minutes right now, actually. Well, thank you for bringing that up. So if anyone has any changes, if they would want to let Emily know. I didn't see any. It looked good to me. Thank you, Emily.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Next is the chair's report. I don't really have much. I know we are working on our vision and mission statements thanks to Anna and Steve. I know Steve had a few setbacks. I think he was in the hospital for a few days, so I don't know if you guys got too much, and that's totally okay. Like, I do not blame you at all. I was thinking maybe since we don't have the quorum today, like just reiterating to send your ideas to Anna and Steve to look over so they can probably like incorporate them all into one document. I know I was just writing some last night that I'll send to you later today, Anna, just to get some ideas flowing. So that's what I would encourage you all to do. Do you have anything else to add, Anna? Or
No, I was in a similar situation, not with me, but with a family member. So it's a little tenuous lately. So
yes, no problem. I totally understand.
we will get it together. So
no problem. Yes, thank you so much for taking that on too.
And Anna, I looked over in the minutes, kind of how you laid out the vision is the what, the mission is the how, and then you have the purpose statement or your guiding principles, whatever. I mean, I think that's obviously a great structure to go off of. Honestly, I thought it was right on. That's a very good way to get started. So I have a few ideas. I don't know if we want to talk about them here, or if you just want me to email you to keep things going since you got 14 more minutes until you kind of go.
either way, my university email address is acbrown@bgsu.edu.
Can you tell me that again?
acbrown
Okay,
@bgsu.edu.
thank you.
And I can send that again in the email so that everyone has it there. Okay, Emily with the Not in Our Town report next. I know you guys had a meeting last night, so probably a lot to report.
You know, I think it's important to share, just based on what we've already talked about this morning, and Adam's participation and how grateful we are for that. And when we spent quite a bit of time talking about the role of his role in creating avenues for reporting and making people feel safe and welcome in Bowling Green. And so one of the, just following up on Justin's sharing of the citizens version of a police academy, matches part of our conversation was the unfortunate situation right now where, police departments across America are on this, lens, and everybody's watching what everybody's doing. And then unfortunately, it's scrutinized to the nth degree. They are, and and Adam sharing too that sometimes they're not treated very well, even here in Bowling Green, and recognizing that that's really not what we want to have happen at all. That it's a situation where there are bad apples. It's not every police person across America. And that those are the folks that deserve to be scrutinized, and, the ones that are making bad decisions or who are making people feel uncomfortable. And then part of our conversation was about the importance of sharing the good things that are happening in our police departments, the good things that police are doing here in Bowling Green and across America. And, that it's kind of was under the realm of a PR effort, so that our citizens are aware of the good things going on at the same time that we are scrutinizing the bad behavior. But that's not all bad. In fact, most of it's good by far. So this idea of a citizens version of a police academy fits perfectly, I think, in that realm of helping everybody to understand this is a very difficult job. Most citizens don't really understand what police go through. And that, this is a great chance for them to learn and then promote the work of our police department.
Emily, could I comment, please?
Sure, yes, uh-huh.
So thank you for sharing that. I think that sounds like it was a really great conversation, and it really ties in to something that I've been saying consistently over the course of the last year, is that I believe that it is really critical that as we have these conversations in Bowling Green as a result of national events, that it is so important that we consider those events in their context, meaning that certainly there are situations in Bowling Green where there has been behavior observed by police officers that is condemned by many in the law enforcement and the community, including our police division here, have condemned many of those behaviors. So to me, that sets up and reinforces what I've been saying from the very beginning of this, is that it is so important that when discussing these issues, that we look at ourselves, we look at Bowling Green, and we work really hard not to project behaviors or policies, procedures that could be flawed or in need of revision, project those behaviors onto our local police division. Again, I will say that, as I have from the very beginning, we understand, why these conversations are taking place nationally and here in Bowling Green, and we support the conversations. We want to be part of the conversations. We have said from my office through the police division that we want to engage. We want to be transparent. We want to help everybody understand, how it is we police here in Bowling Green for the community. And I'm so happy to hear Justin beginning to talk publicly about the program that they're envisioning to, I think, begin that process of bringing people close and helping them understand, how it is they do what they do, and providing those opportunities for people to engage, shoulder to shoulder, real time with our police division, because it's so important. It's consistent with what I believe is really at the most important thing that we need to do, is to get to, we need to talk to each other. We need to understand each other. We need to understand our diverse experiences, and make sure that here in Bowling Green, we're doing all of the things that we can do to build trust and build relationships. And I'm really pleased with that program that Justin is beginning to describe. We've been talking about that kind of behind scenes here for quite some time. And I really look forward to that program launching this summer. And I'm hopeful that, you all as a group can support that program, help publicize it, and help it be successful, because I think that it's so important that we're doing this kind of things.
Yeah, and Adam was a big contributor to that. Like I said, we've had it ready, just with COVID. we can't really be bringing people in. A lot of people may not feel comfortable coming in. But one thing we did too is Adam had talked about having a transparency hub on our webpage. So a while back, we wrote up a bunch of stuff kind of about what our policies and procedures are, what we do. So if you go to our webpage, there's a little thing that says transparency. It covers a lot of stuff related to use of force, de-escalation, mental health, mental health is huge. My graduate degree is in forensic psychology. I've always focused on how the law interacts with mental health. And frankly, I would love to sit down and talk to people about that, because that's kind of my wheelhouse. And it's a major problem right now in our community here, as well as nationwide, and the implications that come with that. So one of the things they talked about was having a person from a mental health professional escort the police or come to handle these situations. And actually in BG, we already do that. We've done that honestly since I've been here. And we partner with Unison now. It used to be the Link Behavioral Connection. And finally, with Unison, the Link was hesitant to do this. But with Unison, they actually would come to the call with us. So we go to a call. They still want us to go first to make sure the scene is safe. But when we call, if we tell them the scene is safe, they'll say, do we want us to come to the scene, or we can come to the ER, or some other place. We try not to take them to the police department, because obviously people get concerned if we're taking them to the police department. We're trying to de-escalate it, not make them more agitated. And it's really been a good program. And Sergeant Kleiber meets every Monday with mental health professionals. So that way we can talk about cases, we just had an individual named Daniel Hildebrandt. And unfortunately, 2 of our officers got injured. Actually, my operations lieutenant is out with a separated shoulder. He's going to have surgery. So, but we've been dealing with him quite often, and we've also been in contact with his parents and trying to work through. I mean, he's got a mental health condition, and we're aware of it, and it's actually helped us in working with Unison to get him where he needs to be. That's the court's decision. It's not my decision. But these people don't need to just be sitting in jail. Because all we're doing now is just transferring that issue to the jail. We need to get them service. The problem is, and I'm going to stop because I could go on and on. Like I said, I really enjoy talking about this, trying to solve these issues. But so Unison's been great, and we were very fortunate here in Wood County to have that.
I think that also kind of following up with something the mayor said about understanding each other, as also understanding the various perspectives from which people come. And so a lot of times people don't understand that, and they take the criticism as an individual rather than looking at the systemic issues. People from marginalized backgrounds tend to see patterns, tend to see systems, and tend to see that being extended time and time again. So it's not just this incident, and this incident. It's a pattern of incidences that tend to impact differently. And so as we have these conversations about understanding each other and knowing that my experiences with the officers in Bowling Green, both in the city and on campus, have been fantastic. But that's not always everybody's experience. And then bringing that part of who they are into their experiences into the city as well, it has an impact and has a play. And so making sure that we're having these deeper conversations about how we can not personalize the criticism. And it's hard to do. It's really hard to do when it's directed at you. But trying to understand that people are generally trying to look at the system and how do we fix the system and not the individual officers, because all the officers I've ever interacted with have been outstanding.
Thanks, Donna. I agree with that. The problem is sometimes on the street, we've been experiencing this a lot lately. We had a group of individuals that weren't even involved and seen come up with their cameras out, and they're screaming and calling our officers murderers and asking our officers how many Black people we've killed in the last couple of years. I mean, just crazy, just stuff to where they're insulting them directly. And it's not constructive. Now, mind you, we got young adults here that have been drinking all night. So a lot of times emotions flare up and stuff like that. But this is the atmosphere for us to have those conversations and be able to understand one another. Unfortunately, some people don't choose that.
Yeah.
And it's hard on the officers. And we keep reminding them, you know what, you have a lot of support in here. These are just a few individuals that chose to express themselves like that. But it is hard on them. I mean, you want to do a good job. You want people to see we're here to serve the community. I mean, I live here. I raised my kids here. I chose to stay here. I'm not from BG. I love the community and I want my children to be raised here. I chose for them to stay here. So my wife had a choice in that too, because she's from BG, but you get my point. So, but thank you.
Anna, thank you for sharing that perspective. It's important. And I'm happy that you shared that. I just hope that, if nothing else, the takeaway, from my comments is that we want to have these conversations. We want to be engaged. We want to be transparent. We want to learn. And I feel as though, we are having some success in creating the atmosphere and the environment for these type of transparent conversations. And I think that's a really great start.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good leave point for me. I'm sorry. I have to take off, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
You
Have a
too.
great weekend. And I will say too that Adam shared that perspective with us. I want to make sure that I include that part, and that we all agree that the conversations are key, and the educational opportunities and raising awareness, increasing awareness. That's really truly those that are ready to learn will will seek it out, and those ones, are ripe, for picking right off the tree. Those are the ones those citizens, I should say, are the folks that we can focus on. And then bringing everybody along, it changes the culture. And that's what we want to do. Yeah. Thinking about that. We also, just real quick, continuing at our NIAT meeting, we had Beatriz Maya come, and she shared the updated anti-discrimination legislation. So we were pleased that she was able to share that, and really celebrating the work that they did, really about making meaningful change and following it through. And, I know that they had some roadblocks or some hurdles along the way, but they kept working. So it was great to hear how that's come along. I know it's going back to the council, but that's pretty encouraging, what she's done. And then finally, we did spend some time talking about the most recent federal no hate crimes that have been enacted, and in a bipartisan way. I mean, one of them was the COVID-19 no hate, as a result of the discrimination and hate crimes directed towards Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And the other one was the Jabara Hire No Hate Act. That was, both of those were enacted in April. And they are helping us to, again, bring awareness. The challenge was that both of those cases, Jabara and Hire, were both prosecuted as hate crimes, but they never made it into the hate crime registry. And when that piece of information became clear, we realized there was a disconnect, a gap between when hate crimes occur and when they're actually being reported. And the fact of the matter is that we cannot start our work to combat hate crimes unless we know how many there are and what's causing them and where are they happening. And then that information is what will give us knowledge about how do we work to make sure hate crimes don't happen. So we know, I mean, it's a general piece of information. Hate crimes are on the rise. 2019 was the highest, and they're not going reported. So how do we make it okay for people to report? Not only in their own personal lives, but then once they're happening, again, these crimes, or these pieces of legislation were to ensure that it's getting reported, it's going to a federal database. So we really truly do know how many are happening. So there's my long report. So I think it's really important that you get someone who's not a NIAT member be the reporter of NIAT, because my report's going to be a lot longer than somebody else. So.
No, that's great. Thank you so much, Emily. Next, we're moving on to the Facebook report. I don't have anything to give. As always, you can send me anything that you want me to repost. For old business, we have our bi-monthly meetings, the social media presence, and then obviously our vision and mission statements. So I think hopefully that's something that we can work on at our next meeting. I would like to see the vision and mission statements keep moving, and then hopefully we can establish our quarters and committees so that those second meetings of the month in June could turn into committee times instead of big group meetings again. So hopefully that's something that we can work on towards our next meeting. I don't really have any other new business. I was planning on working on the vision and mission statements today, but I think Anna and Steve will do that by email. So send your ideas to them. I don't have any other announcements so far. So Mr. Harold, do you have anything as lobby visitor?
No, but thank you for asking.
I won't forget it again. All right. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add to this meeting? If not, it's adjourned, even though it wasn't a meeting. So
Thank you all.
Have a good weekend.